Well, folks, welcome to Stinchfield. We usually talk about politics on this program, but I want to turn to entertainment. Well, and it may be even more than entertainment. It may be a true crime drama. I'm talking about Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy, whatever this clown wants to call himself. But you've heard about the allegations against him now. You've got over a dozen women coming forward saying that he drugged them and then organized people, even himself, to have sex with them and do all kinds of horrific things. If you're drugging someone to do those kinds of things, you need to be put away and put away for a long time. If these allegations are true, Diddy is in some very big trouble. But here's where I want to talk about this story and why I want to talk about this story. Because I think this is going to reach far deeper than just the entertainment industry. I think you're going to see the likes of world leaders be involved in this. Entertainers, athletes, politicians, all the way down to the local level. There are new tapes that we're being told exist out there of someone who is described as a bigger media personality than Diddy himself. And the tapes are of pornographic nature, let's just say that, or are pornographic in nature. And one of the attorneys for the victims described the tapes like this.
I can't explain who the person was, but Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
That's just one video. We are being told that there are dozens, if not hundreds, of these videos. That Diddy recorded people at these now infamous white parties doing the most outrageous sex acts you can imagine. I'll leave it to your imagination since this is a family show and I pride myself on that. This is Talia Graves. She's a alleged victim of Diddy. She explained her assault that she claims happened like this.
The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words. It goes beyond just physical harm caused by and during the assault. It's a pain that reaches into your very core of who you are and leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal.
So you decide for herself whether she's believable or not. I don't have any reason not to believe her after everything that is now surfacing about Diddy, including his own words. People talking about what went on at those parties. Credible people in the entertainment industry that allegedly took part in a lot of these horrific acts. So I think this may turn out to be worse than Epstein. Now remember, Diddy is in federal lockup in New York City. In fact, Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy from FTX, the crypto company that went bankrupt, that's his celly, by the way, in a bizarre turn of events. But this may turn out to be worse than Epstein. Does that mean that Diddy is a dead man walking? Here's why I think it could be worse than Epstein. This is one of Diddy's former bodyguards blowing the whistle on him.
I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statements are true, they got him.
Again, when you look at the prolific nature of what was recorded and who's talking about it, he talked about preachers. They name people like T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes has been clean as a whistle. He's in Dallas, not far from me. The mainstream media have been going after him because he is such an engaging preacher man here in Dallas. If he's caught up in this, anything is possible.